Hello and welcome to Chattercade Podcast, where we walk you through a movie, try our hardest not to get distracted and force Hayden to say back to this movie, and then finally we give our opinion on the movie in general. I'm your host, Ranking Thomas Hughes.
Hi, I'm Hayden, and we're going to watch Deadpool.
Close, but no cigar. Today we're discussing The Shallows, released in 2016 after being picked up from the movie blacklist thing where, scripts are made and never expected to be made into a movie, and then companies go, I'll buy that, let's make that into a movie. And it's usually Sony, as proved by this.
Yeah,
Sony usually just go, I love that.
You can tell it's Sony because they did two logos of saying Sony.
Pretty much. Sony's way of telling us all it's a Sony movie.
Yeah.
It's weird because the fact that it's the first non-Warner Brothers movie we covered this month. Every other movie we covered is Warner Brothers.
That's true.
And we're going from Sony to then Fox next week. Then
Which
back to Warner Brothers.
Technically, Fox is Disney now.
Yeah.
You don't count Fox as Fox anymore.
But
down with Disney.
That was pre-Fox Disney merger, so it was still technically Fox at that point. Except the last one on the list, then that's fair enough. Maybe back to Warner Brothers for a few months.
It still counts.
Anyway, the movie was directed by Spanish director Collet-Serra, however you pronounce his name, who rose to fame with his horror movie Orphan. Prior to this, he directed the House of Wax remake, which we covered a few people who've appeared in that last year. Obviously, he then veered away from horror entirely into the action genre, where he teamed up with Liam Neeson for many, many pictures, including Unknown, Non-Stop, Run All Night, and The Commuter, which is basically non-stop but on a train. Yeah, Non-Stop's the one with the plane. The Commuter's basically non-stop but a train.
Oh.
It's literally, it's pretty much a similar sort of style of movie, just with a train instead of a plane. And obviously, this is obviously technically his first horror film in 7 years, because Orphan came out in 2009, and 7 years later this came out. And you can tell from some of the action shots within this, obviously takes some of the experience he had from the Liam Neeson saga, I would call it, into these, actiony horror-ish movie.
And there's only a few non-consistencies to it. Only a few.
Hayden will explain later.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the movie stars Blake Lively, who is of course the wife of Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, in tint shirt. She starred in The Town, Green Lantern, which obviously starred Ryan, Savages, the TV series Gossip Girl, A Simple Favour, and The Rhythm Section, which was like the last film she did. The movie also stars Oscar Yanada, don't know how you pronounce that one either, who played one of the villains in the quote-unquote final Rambo movie, Rambo Last Blood, which I went to the cinema to watch with Connor as a nice little day trip with a guy from work. Nice little day out, where he instantly got ID'd, including the guy who's over 25. Cinemas, am I right? Anyway, he obviously, as well as this, appeared in Pirates of the Caribbean on Strangest Tides, and The Losers. We also have a brief cameo appearance from Brett Cullen, who we last saw in the 2020 Chattercade #1 movie, Joker, where he played Thomas Wayne.
Yes, he did.
The movie focuses on a surfer who heads off to a secret surf spot in memory of her mum, but when she paddles unknowingly into the feeding ground of a great white, she turns this little casual trip into a fight for survival.
Yeah.
Because shark wants to eat her.
And Rising Tides.
Yeah, Rising Tides. Cue the titles. Okay, cue my narration voice.
Oh, God.
You asked this, Hayden, and you're gonna get it. The movie opens with a boy playing football on the beach. I don't know why I went very posh with that one, but I'm gonna go with it. We see a helmet being washed in from the water, and the boy go and pick it up. On top of the helmet there is a GoPro. GoPro, stop recording. Before we get in, ominous shot of something floating in the distance. Maybe a buoy with someone on. Who knows? And my phone just beeps. Stop beeping, phone.
Maybe it's a plane.
The buoy starts to try and crack open the GoPro because it's stopped recording now, obviously. But we see an abandoned surfboard. Interesting. The camera footage begins to play, and we hear a man yelling something in Spanish, which we do not understand.
We don't speak.
Exactly. And while having fun, he's obviously yelling this before he then begins to scream as he paddles towards a woman who attempts to help him before he goes under and is taken out by a shark. I wonder if this scene's a scene from the past.
I wonder.
The boy then runs away before we get another shot of the surfboard, which has a face on it. Then we get the title reveal, the shallows. We then cut to some days before, or is it? Yes, it is. It's some days before. Because that was a future shot, which we'll see later on. We then meet Nancy, played by Blake Lively. She's looking at pictures on her phone. A very interesting shot where we see her phone screen popped out on the side of the screen next to her face. I did like these shots. They're a bit different.
Yeah, and they're to make Instagram look better.
Exactly. The driver of the car she's in is Carlos, who's played by Oscar Yanada, who asks her if the photo is of her, but Nancy replies, "Oh no, it's my mom. She used to come to this beach after she found out she was pregnant with me. And, I've never been here, but it's kind of our beach." We then get some more shots of photos on the screen, which still look cool. She then flicks through the photos, which starts spinning around on the screen, before stopping at one and saying, "Hey, my sister." And Carlos like, "Speak some Spanish. You're not going to understand me. What are you saying? Don't speak Spanish. Only speak English." And he's like, "This is for your eyes only. Actually look out the window instead of looking at your phone." Okay. So she puts her phone in and has a little look outside, while apologising for being American. Good for her for apologising for that.
Yeah, it takes some guts to do it.
Exactly. It takes a lot of guts. He then,
later.
He then points out there's not many gringos here, which, is American. She starts to laugh as we zoom out the car and watch it drive for a few seconds, but we cut back into the car when Nancy gets a text from a friend who's, ill due to drinking too much. You know that feeling, don't you, Hayden?
Yeah, too much drink and too much life. Bad decisions.
Exactly. So she's not going to join her, meaning she's all alone. She then has a conversation with Carlos, which leads to her saying she's reliable. And she's like, "You know what reliable means?" He says something in Spanish, which translates to, you're bossy. And she's like, "Okay, let me get my phone out and just yell reliable into it and have it translate." And so it does. And it gives you the same response. You're bossy. She unwittingly calls herself bossy before adding the word very in front of it to call herself very bossy like an idiot. Bossy women. Like Hayden.
Oi.
Very bossy.
I mean, you're not wrong, but still. Oi.
Her friend then texts asking if she found out the beach name, but Carla stays quiet when she asks since it's a secret. Lips are sealed. She then calls him Paul.
What I don't get is, how the hell did she tell him to go to this beach if she didn't know what it was called?
Probably because she went, "There's a special beach."
It's supposed to be a secret beach. How did he know to go there, and how did she describe to him where it is?
She has a picture of her mom there. So maybe he looked at the background and went, "Oh, I know that beach. Come on, I'll take you there." Or she said, "There's a special secret beach." And he went, "I know which one you're on about, love. Come on, I'll take you there." That'd be my theory.
Sounds sus, but okay.
Eventually, they arrive at the very beautiful looking ocean. So he asks, "The right one?" She says, "Yes, it is." And then get a shot from above showing how gorgeous this landscape is. Carlos then calls it paradise. For Nancy starts to refer to the island as the pregnant island due to a nose shape, breasts, and a stomach. But Carlos isn't very convinced, but it does make him laugh. He then gets her stuff from his truck while she watches some surfers surfing in the water. She then offers to pay him for his troubles, but he refuses because he's a kind guy and he claims he lives nearby, which proved later on he does, so he's not lying about that.
He's not lying just to get some poos.
Pretty much. So he's like, don't bother. And yeah, they officially greet each other. Nancy, Carlos, Nancy, the usual.
Mm-hmm.
But Nancy gives us a little backstory about her being in medical school, which may or may not come in handy later.
Definitely not.
It definitely will not. Carlos then tells her that it will be dark in a few hours, but she explains that she never surfs at night, so it's fine. But when he asks her, how are you getting out there? She goes, oh, Uber. Who's Uber? Never mind, thanks anyway. So, he leaves.
I mean, I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or if she actually thinks she'd get an Uber.
From that direct, I don't know. To be fair, it's not something that's actually explained because it never comes to it. So maybe they went, let's just throw this in. I hope people see it as a joke more than anything, and don't question the fact that we're never actually going to see the Uber. Imagine though, if an end credit scene happened and the Uber driver turned up, and he's like, "Oh, this is the location." She told me. Where the fuck is she?
Where is this bitch?
And this walks. He's like, "Oh, I can see a board there." Walks into the water, and another shark comes and eats him. And his Uber car starts crying. Oh,
that would have been amazing.
And then Deadpool turns up and is like, "Okay, what's going on here?
Like,
oh, I'm in the wrong franchise. Sorry, guys. See you later."
Oh, that's a nice piece of ass.
That's nice, dead ass. Walks in, the shark comes up. Ooh, big fishy. And then Deadpool turns into Aquaman. Aquapole.
Have you been sniffing stuff before the recording?
No, you cannot prove anything.
I think we just did, but okay.
Obviously, as he tries to leave, she, asks what the place is called again, because, silly me, I forgot what it's called. And he's like, just be careful here before he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely didn't roll high with that persuasion technique.
A D&D joke, because Tom has no life.
But you know more about D&D than me, so you have no life.
Touche.
Anyway, Nancy then walks along the beach before stopping to put her phone in her bag and get all her stuff ready so she can go surfing. I can't remember the surfing song that I'm thinking of. There's a surfing song that's in my head, but I can't think of the song, and I'm just going to carry on anyway. Yeah, so while preparing, she watches the surface some more before putting on a wetsuit top and heading off into the water. She paddles out in some slow-mo shots before a wave rises, and Michael Bay would be very proud of these slow-mo ass shots.
Yes, he would.
Because this movie is full of a lot of slow-mo ass shots.
Full of exploiting ass shots.
Pretty much. And you even get that tip of the crack when she gets dressed. Just for Michael Bay.
And they even did the whole, zipping not fully the suit just to get cleavage for no reason whatsoever other than to get cleavage.
And get Michael Bay turned on. No wonder he then worked with Ryan Reynolds on that 12 Underground, whatever the 7 Underground, 600, I can't remember what it's called. It's not Underground. No wonder he worked on him with that, because he saw this and went, I get close to him. I get close to her. Anyway, big wave. She goes underneath it. Another big wave. Goes underneath it again. Another big wave. Goes. She's really pussing out on these waves.
Yeah, and it's like a running theme of her going under the waves.
In slow-mo shots.
Convenient.
I feel like Michael Bay definitely directed this movie and they put someone else's name on it to, bullshit to everyone.
I don't have a reputation of exploiting women. Look, this wasn't me.
Oh, if we found that this was produced by Michael Bay, that would just blow my mind and prove everything. The Shadows, produced by Michael Bay. Definitely not directed by Michael Bay. Anyway, she sees the two other surfers and stops floating a bit away from them. They have a little wave at her before speaking Spanish to her. Doesn't understand, no comprende, speaking English. And the one does speak English. She's like, oh, that big wave there. She's like, oh no, it almost took me out.
Oh no.
She's like, yeah. He goes, are you American? She's like, oh yeah. He goes, California? Nah, Texas. Much surf in Texas? Some. Which is proved later on when it is. But she's not bullshitting there either. Obviously, the three start laughing some more before they ask her how she found the place. And she tells them, oh, someone I know. He's like, why don't you come on over here? And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay here.
Did we just become best friends? Yeah. You sound kind of sus.
Yeah. And just now, the fact that when I asked you about the place, you said, "Oh, I'd have to kill you if I told you." So,
Totally didn't make him sound bad at all.
yeah. So she asks, "Is there anything, gnarly I should know about?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, there's a rock over there. It's when the tide goes low enough, becomes a little island. Totally not a plot point."
Totally not.
And it explains that there's some nasty fire coral that stings like jellyfish. And again, not a plot
Totally not a
point.
plot point.
And they,
Running theme.
the running theme of giving us plot points very early.
Yep.
But they all paddle in their own directions. She has a little paddle before, the one guy puts on his GoPro. Wait, didn't we see a GoPro at the start?
Oh my god, it's almost like that was the same GoPro. Wow. Who would have thought?
And then waves come in. Nancy starts paddling away. We're standing up and riding the wave in slow motion. Just missing the explosion behind her. The pop tune kicks in. They watch you all free surf for a while before they all, float together for a quick breather. Then they start surfing again, but Nancy falls off before getting back on. And after another surf montage, where we see them all doing their little surf tricks, like riding under the wave. There is actual terms for this, but I'm not a surfer, so I don't know terms. So, riding under the wave. Surfs up, my dude. I don't know surf terms.
And they all look at each other and they go, oh, we just become best friends.
And then they all pull out the samurai swords and start fighting each other.
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, that's just my imagination.
That was the wrong movie we're talking about.
No, Step Brothers, which we covered last year.
Yeah, they weren't even a girl in that. I was so confused. I was like, that looks nothing like Will Ferrell. That's the girl who's banging Ryan Reynolds.
Anyway, we then get the bull shot of Nancy paddling back towards the beach peacefully. She runs in Baywatch style with that slow motion again. So she can eat an apple, drink some water, and watch the two men continue to surf. She then looks at more images of her mom before holding a necklace and doing a video call with her sister, showing off the beach, which it's weird because in the trailer for some reason they use the Skype dun 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 that's Skype fucking for some reason in the trailer they use that to symbol the phone call, but
even though it's more like a knockoff FaceTime.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that in the trailer. It's weird. Anyway, she shows her sister at the beach to have a little laugh before, obviously better being alone and her being overprotective, and she's the younger sister. The confusion. Her dad then appears, played by Brett Cullen. They have a slight conversation about her not dropping out of med school because she works so hard. Nancy makes the conversation. Nancy then makes the conversation about her mom, which annoys her dad, who tells her that her mom would fight to basically do what she was trying to do. And they have this little
into it, blah blah blah.
Yeah, no, father and daughter, blah 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 blah, and hangs up the phone. She then prepares herself to go out surfing again, but as she runs off, her phone gets a text message from a friend telling her not to wait up due to a guy she met the night before. So basically, what you're saying is no one's going to be expecting her back at night.
Yeah, that's what they're expecting. Also, I feel like it probably is more interesting film, but we watch her friend's escapade instead.
This cut to us getting rat-assed. Woo! She's there, like, dying on this island. Her friends there that run, I don't know, run a moped around screaming.
Doing shut.
That would have been a real fucking weird extra 10 minutes to the movie. Anyway, we then begin to see the tide change, so the rock island begins to appear. Before she starts to surf once more. She then meets the two guys again who tell her to head in like them, but she wants to stay for the one last, wave, so all say goodbye. She then sees them from a distance get back to the beach before getting spooked that they might steal her stuff since they walk right by it. But the surfer code dictates you don't steal from other surfers while they're surfing.
No.
Well, it would if it wasn't something I just made up. She then floats for a while before watching seagulls. And spotting something floating in the distance. The water begins to bubble around her, scaring her, and she goes to paddle away. Dolphins jump out over her with some,
Oh,
shots
It's
of
just dolphin.
dolphins. The little trick as they always do in these shark movies. Throw a dolphin in to scare you.
Oh, because they look similar but not at the same time. It's so terrifying. Oh no! Let's see if that dolphin comes up again. Oh wait,
No, they won't.
no,
Imagine like the swarm of dolphins just fighting off the shark.
that's what I want.
Why is this Flipper all over again?
No, it's
There's a film called Flipper where a hammerhead shark fights a dolphin.
it's fucking Jaws 3D.
Anyway, she begins to follow them before getting into a part of the water which has a very weird colour to it. I wonder if it's whale oil. Because when the camera gives, a above shot, we see a dead whale. Wonder if this is a big plot point.
Totally not.
That's what we saw floating in the distance a moment ago. She then stares at it before beginning to, slightly watch it move and go, ooh, that stinks, ooh. She then gets attacked by some seagulls. She falls off a board. We then see an underwater shot of a shark shadow-looking thing swimming below her in a very interesting-looking shot.
It's totally just a dolphin.
Yeah, it's definitely a small dolphin, not a giant shark. She then gets back on her board and paddles away, spotting a big wave heading her way, so she stands up against the surf. But as she does, the outline of a shark reappears this time within the wave.
Actually, it's kind of a cool shot.
Yeah, that was really cool. It's a shark tsunami. It's the
Don't give them ideas.
It's a spin-off of Sharknado. Shark tsunami.
I like the fucking Deadwood popping up in those films. No.
Their heads pop out of the wave. They come out on surfboards playing some music.
It's ice, baby.
No, would it be shark, baby? Do.
Get fucking.
And the shark eats them instead of her, so she can swim back to shore and get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a sadly different movie. Anyway, the shark eventually knocks her off the board, causing her to wipe out. And, smash into the rocks below.
Yeah.
She does manage to get back above the water, but as she attempts to climb back onto her board, she's pulled under by the shark, turning the water red with her blood.
Let's be honest though, there's a lot of blood in that water, that shot. That means she probably should have been dead. The amount of blood that was in that water, she bled out, but she pulled through it.
Because she's a fighter, which is a plot point of this movie. I mean, not a plot point, totally not a plot point.
No, totally not.
She screams, it takes the bite.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. In many underwater screaming sequences.
Yeah. This is a film where they try to find out how many times she can scream and grunt.
Well, is this Mad Max Fury Road? That's all he does in that. He has like a couple of words of dialogue. Most of the time he just grunts and just stares at the distance.
For 5 minutes?
Pretty much. Anyway, she managed to, get loose and foot loose before getting back to the surface.
But also, notice how as soon as she swims off, the water's clear of blood. It's completely clear. This is what I mean about inconsistencies. Slightly small, only few, but there are some.
I wasn't really paying attention. I was too busy writing.
You were too busy staring at a bum. I know you were, but I was also paying attention properly to the whole scene.
And a bum.
It is the whole scene.
I got you there. Anyway, she spots the land is way too far out, so she makes her swim towards the dead whale, and the fin begins to breach the surface. She does eventually make it to the whale and uses the wounds on the side of it to aid in her climbing. Gross, putting my hands in wounds. And on top of the whale, she sees the damage done from the shark to her leg, so she wraps her ankle bracelet thing attached to her surfboard, whatever the fuck it's called. Don't know surf lingo. Ankle bracelet it is.
And that's not total rip-off Alien.
She wraps it around her leg and stops the bleeding before we get an underwater shot of the whale, which looked quite cool. She then sees the guys leaving, so she tries to call them, but They can't hear her since she's so far out and they're in the car driving away. They've probably got some banging tunes blasting away, so there's no chance of it.
Yeah.
I'm here. Oh, wait, no, they did stop. Oh, no, he's just something hanging from the Jeep. He's trying to fix it. Oh, no, they're gone again.
Oh no, another fake out. How dare they?
Huh. She's
They
gone.
probably listen to Aqua Barber Girl.
It's driving around. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Imagine if you could hear it from a distance. So you just hear they've got it that loud. You can better hear it from the distance. She's like, "Well, I'm screwed."
Joe Malfoy hears, "Never gonna give you up."
That would be a kick in the bollocks. Or in this terms, not lady bollocks.
God, it's getting rickrolled.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Rickrolled.
Oh,
Getting beaten by a shark.
that would have been so funny. The shot just pops at the one and starts laughing at her. Anyway, so obviously they're gone. The shark then strikes the whale and almost causes it to fall in before it grabs the whale and starts to push it. Push it real good. Do 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 do. It does, however, back off after the short push, allowing her to spot a buoy floating a bit far away. And I forgot how you typed that, so I asked fucking Alexa how to say it, and she just had no clue. She started saying random shit. I can't even remember what she was saying. It was not. I was like, how do you spell water buoy? And she just came up with some random crap about, the weather today is 0 degrees. I was like, I didn't ask the weather forecast, Alexa. I asked how you spell buoy. Because it's a weird thing to spell. Dumb Alexa. Anyway,
Buoy.
she then sees quite far away. So and then the shark fin breaches the game before slamming into the whale and causing her to dive off. While swimming, she hits a seagull, which looks like it broke its wing as it struggled to fly away. Definitely not a plot point. She then swims for her life towards the rock we saw earlier, but as she tries to climb, she steps on the fire coral, causing her to scream and fall backwards, but not too backwards, and she's able to get onto the rock where the injured seagull sits. Plot points starting to come together. Maybe there were plot points after all. Anyway, we get some more underwater shots before she attempts to stand up on the injured leg. The camera then pans out, showing how small the rock is she's stranded on before showing us that she's very close to the beach in a sense, but there's not a chance she could make it because though it looks close enough, with a shark out there, she has no chance of making it without getting attacked. So close, but yet so far. So she collapses back to the ground because she's not a fighter.
But you said she was.
Shh.
No.
You were supposed to be the chosen one.
You're my brother, Anakin. I love you.
Shane looks at the injured seagull and takes out her earring and takes off her necklace so she can stitch up her leg. She starts to the stitching, causing her to scream. She speaks to herself as she was a doctor talking to a patient. Just, one insertion, it's fine. Ah, God fucking damn it!
Yeah.
She then used the other earring to do the same again before splashing some water over the leg and wrapping up with her top for collapsing again.
I mean, let's be honest, why the fuck is she wearing, having these needle-like earrings with her?
Style. Surface code dictates you have to wear funky ass earrings in case a shark attacks so you can stitch yourself up. And if there's no such thing as surfer code, no one steal that idea. It's my idea.
You're gonna go to fucking the government and ask them to
I want this to be a thing, and it's my idea. The surface code dictates all these. It's the 10 surfing commandments.
You're like some fucking surfer god or something.
I just walk around with a giant fucking rock of what I'm inscribed into. And when I say a giant rock, I just mean the rock's forehead. I've chiseled it into his head.
Yeah. I was thinking Dwayne Johnson's you chiseled it into his abs.
Yeah, I was on the classic sort of Samoan way of tattooing someone with a chisel and just tattooed it onto him. And 1 commandment says, do not steal from other surfers. 2 commandment says you must wear earrings. The rest, I will figure out eventually. That's why they're all to say blank, blank, blank. And now he's screaming because I wrote blank in him 12 times.
3rd commandment: you have to kiss Rock on the forehead every day.
Anyway, we get that, a day fading into night. Time change shot, which looks quite nice. And she's lying there. And when it's night time, she takes a look at her watch. It's 1:12 a.m. on Tuesday. 5 hours to low tide.
Oh no.
She then begins to, dither because it's cold, but almost falling into the water. Then takes off her top bandage and sees the damage before wearing the top, so she can keep herself warm for a few seconds before using the rock and her necklace to rip the shirt. So she can wear it both as a top and a bandage for a leg. But before she can, bandage herself up, she loosens the strap around her leg. She can give it some, movement. She starts flicking her toes. Come on, wiggle, wiggle, little fellas. This little piggy went to market. And after a little while, it does start wiggling. She goes, okay, 2 minutes of blood flow. It's like a mum saying, okay, 2 minutes outside, and then you're coming in for your bath. And after the 2 minutes, she reties the wound and bandages up, turning her once sleeve into a leg sleeve kind of thing. Leg sleeve. I'm naming that now. Leg sleeve. Don't steal that idea. Anyway, she screams as she's doing it because it's, hurting and whatnot. And she, we cut to her sleep, having crabs crawl over her, not in the STD kind of way. She freaks out, smacks her leg, causes herself to scream because she hit the bad wound. Idiot. But she does, however, crush the crab so she can eat it. Well, try to since she spits it out because it tastes like shit. The seagull then, eats it. Vomit-induced crab.
Perfect.
Seagull's favourite treat. She then looks up towards the water where she sees her board floating. She then looks for the shark before looking back at the whale and asking, are you still out there? Oh, you should hear that is, no! Wait, you are still out there? I'm not. I feel like the shark's still out there.
Totally not.
She then attempts to get into the water, telling the bird to stay. She lowers herself in and slowly swims with one leg towards the board. But as she swims out, she sees the fin reappear, so she swims back towards the rock, smashing her leg on the rock. When she gets back, before we get another underwater shot of the shark's shadow swimming below. She likes smashing her leg on rocks. It's like she doesn't want her leg anymore.
Oh,
that is actually not a plot. That is actually not a plot point. Unlike the jokes we're making so far. Or is it? No, it's not.
No.
Anyway, she then looks to the land and sees someone lying on the beach. So, starts to call out for help. Eventually, we see it's a man who wakes up and stands up, but we see a bottle in his hand, so this guy's clearly a drunk. She then starts jumping to get his attention, but he just waves back like, hello! Strange person standing on a rock, hello!
Shit.
Yeah. She then tries to tell him about a backpack with the phone, and he makes his way towards it. And to her joy, because when he gets her phone out, her joy fades because he just, pockets it and takes her stuff. Someone cleared it and teach him about the surfer code. He then walks off. She starts shouting to come back. You can keep the stuff if you just come back and get me off this fucking rock. And, he sees her board and he's like, I'm going to steal all her stuff. So, he drops her stuff and begins to swim out to get it. And, he does get it, but as he's trying to swim back, he very drunkenly constantly falls off the surfboard. Before, the shark returns and takes up the drunken thief off screen for our first death of the movie. But, you just see the camera pointing at her face as, she's shocked, holding her mouth as she hears the sound of the grunting of the man and the shark going nom 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 nom. He does, however, make it back to land, but as we see when he does, as Hayden would like to call it now, he's only half a man. Because his lower half is no longer attached to his body, and he officially dies. Serves him right. That's what you get for breaking... That's what you get for breaking the surfer code. See, the shark gets it. He gets the surfer code.
He's the only one who gets it.
Hey, he stole your stuff. I'll get him. Dun 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 dun. It's like that fucking. Is it Hanna-Barbera's got that talking shark? I can't remember. That's what it is. It's the talking shark from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. That weird sound he makes.
Ah, classic.
Anyway, we then cut to morning. Well, afternoon technically, because it's 12:01 p.m. to be precise. 6 hours until high tide.
Hi, is you.
Thank you. Nancy is asleep on the rock until she is awoken by the seagull, since a jeep is on the beach, and not just any jeep, the one with the two surfers. And at first she tells the seagull to shut the fuck up, with less swearing, because, she eventually opens her eyes to see them paddling out, so, she slightly gets up and starts yelling at them, stop, there's a shark out here, stop. But the one who speaks English, there's no sharks out here. You have them in a laugh, and she, continues to yell before they disappear. But when they resurface, we see the English-speaking one heading back to land, possibly for help, while his friend heads towards her, possibly to help her. Before he can get to land, he's taken out by the shark in a very cool-looking breaching shot as it jumps out and spins around and lands back in the water, and he's gone, he's dead. His friend sees the aftermath, catching a small amount of it on his GoPro before swimming towards Nancy. She screams at him, "Hoi, hoi, hoi," while he's making his way towards the edge of the rock before he disappears. And then suddenly the board bursts out of the water as it flies over in two pieces, which I don't think this film was in 3D, or it might have been, which if it was, that was definitely a 3D shot because how it went, but I don't think it was in 3D, so I don't know why they did a 3D shot. Who knows? It was, just to get a board on the rock. So there you go. See, the shark who's actually helping her is giving the stuff she needs. Good shark. Predicting your own death. Anyway, she sits back before the man climbs up the side of the rock. She attempts to help him up, but he's yanked under by the shark, meaning after 49 minutes, we have 3 deaths. And that's definitely not the number it's going to stay at.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I think. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, we then get another time shift, this time to 3:04 p.m, 3 hours till high tide. She lies in the sun now, becoming dehydrated due to the intense heat. She then tries to use the half of the board that come flying over her to cover herself from the sun before we cut to 5:56 p.m, 25 minutes to high tide. As soon as we cut, the helmet from the surfer floats to the surface. Nancy doesn't see it from under the boards, as she's more focused on the island before the shark surfaces get near her. It swims past her before she puts the board down and finally decides to, help the injured girl. She used her vet skills that she pointed out earlier on to, snap the bird's wing back into place, which causes it to bite her. She then realises the tide is coming in before spotting the GoPro floating, going, I need that. We then pan over the shark swimming. The stopwatch counts up, telling her how long it would take from the shark to get from, the whale to the rock, which is precisely 32 seconds. So with this in mind, she has a plan. So as soon as the shark reaches the whale, she, heads in the water with the clock ticking. She starts swimming. She gets onto the little rock. She tries to grab the helmet. She misses a few times, falls in, gets out, grabs it. But as she grabs it, she hits the fire coral. Has to climb back out onto the rock and go, ow, fire coral, for the second time already.
Ouchie, ouchie. Totally didn't forget about that thing being there.
And she then sees the shark barreling towards her, but she's fine on the small rocks, so she's fine there. She then looks at the camera before we see the shark from above circling there. And obviously now it's back near the whale, so she hits the watch again, jumps in, grabbing the camera, and giving us a shot from its point of view of obviously her face. But, when we cut back to normal camera, what they use to film the movie with, we have 10 seconds left, and she hears the shark behind her. And it is behind her because it bursts out of the water, causing her to fall in and hit rocks again. This is our first close-up view of the CGI shark, and it doesn't look half bad. It looks decent. And looking for her, the shark is stuck on the rocks, more time to swim. And also see that, it hates fire coral since it stings like jellyfish. Plot point. Or
Probably
is it?
use that. Mm.
She then grabs the helmet and she dropped it like a klutz and goes for the rock. And from above shot, we see the shark stuck on the rock still. So she's able to climb onto a rock and cuddle up to the camera in sweet, sweet, sweet victory. Well, half victory. She's still stuck out in the middle of the water, so, you know,
But she's not dead.
yes. But we then cut into the footage from the camera as she watches it, and she has to watch as the man dies trying to climb onto the rock. In the process, she gets a closer look at the shark and sees that, oh, it's got a hook lodged into its mouth. Someone tried to hook this bitch. Or bastard.
Mm.
Who knows? It's never explained.
Yeah.
Nance then looks at the buoy again and says it's 30 to 40 yards away, which is a 1 minute swim that she claims she can do. But she needs a head start because, she's injured. She then pulls the shark tooth from the helmet and realises that she can use it. So, she does a classic thing and shoves it down her shirt. Like, I'll come in handy later. And she then starts making a video message with a GoPro explaining the situation, explaining her wound. She swam into the feeding ground of the shark like an idiot. She then tells the camera a plan to swim to the buoy before telling whoever finds it, delete this part, send it to 1023-1 Oliver Crescent Drive, Galveston, Texas, which is where her dad and sister live. She then records a message for them where she claims that the alone time is super overrated, but she's finally... Well, she's not fully alone, as she has a little friend, so she pans over to a seagull friend that she names Steven Seagal, which is the star of this movie. He has more of a career than Steven Seagal has nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. I'd book him instead.
Steven Seagal versus a shark. It's better than drones versus a shark because that was shit.
Hold back. Mm.
She then tells them that she doesn't want them to worry and that she loves them very much and she misses them. She then tells her dad that she's going to fight like a mom. And she ends the message and then picks up the recording and tosses it into the water towards shore before putting Steven Seagal on the broken board and sending him off. Do, 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 do.
There goes our hero.
Squawk, 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 squawk. I thought the seagull might join him. He
I like
didn't. Sadly, that song did not kick him.
No.
It would have been hilarious if it did, and the shark burst out from underneath him. Oh, imagine that. She puts him in, she's like, you're going to make this, buddy. You're going to make this. The shark just eats him. Oh, shit. It's got, what's that film I'm thinking of? Not film, it's American Dad. Haley catches they've got loads of fish and Haley starts chucking them into the water, but an eagle comes down and eats them all. And she even puts the fish directly into the water, but the eagle bursts out from the water underneath and eats it. And she's like, oh, I'm doing more damage than the eagle is. Anyway, with just her left, Nancy looks for the opening, and with a shark now swimming between her and the buoy, she's screwed. And to make matters worse, there's a jellyfish field between them. But she remembers the shark hated the coral because it felt like jellyfish stings.
Convenient.
We quickly then see it swerve away from the jellyfish and allow her to realise she now has a head start, so she dives into the water and starts to swim. But the shark breaches behind her, so she dives down and makes her way through the jellyfish. While swimming through, she gets her arm caught on one of them, causing her to, underwater scream again because it's stinging. Blah, 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 blah. The jellyfish begin to light up in a very nice looking shot. But it's actually cut short when the shark goes for, gets tangled in the jellyfish. Zap, 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 zap. And she, makes it to the buoy. She starts to climb it. And the shark bounces off the side of it, causing her, to snap the little handle she was using as a leverage and fall back in with the shark. But she's not dead because she managed to still get back out because she stabs the shark and then climbs out. And she's obviously holding on to this buoy, and she's like, "Phew, I'm fine. It just missed me. I'm fine." And she. How would you pronounce it then?
Boy.
Bowie?
Boy.
Oh. Tomato. I thought you said Bowie at first. I was like, why would you call
No,
it Bowie?
yeah, it's David
It's
Bowie.
David Bowie. David Bowie saves the day. He's flying on his magical
London
unicorn.
Court. Uh,
Anyway,
yeah,
I'm going
I
to
get
keep saying Bowie. Bowie. Who cares? She climbs to her feet and inside the sense of the buoy,
boy.
she's safety. She has a little rest before she sees a boat in the distance between her, the islands that look like a pregnant woman, apparently.
Hmm.
And she has a little look around, realises, oh, there's a box here. I'll just crack it open. Use this shark tooth to leverage it. Oh, there's a flare gun in there, but I've dropped all the bullets in the water. Better go fish them out. And
Hmm.
she gets one out, puts it in the flare gun and fires it up, but it, just fizzes out instantly and just goes boop. It's like, whoops. Shit. Okay, 3 more bullets. Dive in, grab them, back out. Channelize bullet number 2. And this time it does go up farther before, pooping out again. She loads bullet 3 and asks for the boat to come back. And while weeping, she collapses to the floor, feeling she is lost. Then come back to the beginning of the movie where the boy finds the helmet. Because that was, future stuff. It teased it.
Like fucking Back to the Future.
Yes. The footage he then watches is of her video when she points out the loss of blood we see dripping into the water as we build up to the dialogue of saying she's going to fight. The shark and smashed into the buoy. I was going to attempt to say it properly. My mind just won't let me.
Really.
My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes.
Telling me Bowie.
Telling me Bowie. And then he knocks her over. Or she's the we see the the boy run off. He might be a bum, who knows. She then takes off her top and fires a flare at the shark, pissing it off before loading the last bullet. Shark then comes to hit her, causing her to obviously have to climb to a better vantage point. And she then sees the fin breach, and it's allows to say "fuck you" to the shark as she then fires the last flare at it, but more specifically at the whale oil surrounding it. The oil then, once the flare strikes, sets ablaze. The shark's fin also sets ablaze before it bursts out the water, fully in flames. We get Fire Shark. And obviously it smartly dives back under to put itself out. Good, smart shark, smart thinking.
Or it's just a water creature that needs to go into water.
Pretty much. It then bursts out and begins to attack her, snapping the chains off the buoy. The chains that are keeping it anchored into place. And sending her into the water below because it's, dipping in. The shark then goes for her, but she managed to get inside the buoy, which she uses as a shark cage to help protect her. Smart thinking. The shark then bursts out from below her, but is unable to get through the cage. She then begins to kick it away, and eventually it backs off, allowing it to spot the chains that anchor below, which is a large rock with metal piercings out of it. Maybe it's a way to kill it. Then sees the last chain on the verge of snapping, so her plan is in motion. She sees a shark coming at her again, so she climbs out of the protective cage and grabs the chain, wrapping her ankle bracelet thing around the chain to help with her plan. The chain then breaks due to the shark being stuck, obviously because it's lodged on the metal, and it's yanking constantly, so the chain snaps, and her yanking it also helps. And with that, she starts shooting down to the bottom of the water, just about missing the shark that comes from the side because it's managed to unlodge itself, pull the hook out, yada yada. And it then obviously goes for her, straight down at her, and just as she looks at the shark and looks how close she is to the spikes, she veers away at the last second, letting go, and the beast just plows into the spikes, killing it in a way that isn't another explosion like most shark films tend to be.
Which I am quite glad for.
It's a very different way of killing. It's a fresh way.
Yeah.
And obviously now with the shark dead, she's engulfed in a cloud of sand.
Mhm.
We then cut to the boy returning to the beach with Carlos, who finds one of the dead surfers, the one who spoke English, the guy who got attacked first. The boy then yells Papa, meaning he's Carlos' son. The boy is yelling due to him spotting something. Carlos runs to him and spots Nancy, so he runs out into the water and drags her out. He then yells at his son in Spanish. Again, don't understand what he says, but it's pretty much, go get help, you little shit. Hurry up. Don't be slow. So he does. And, before he can emit some CPR. She coughs up some water, and wakes up. Surprised she's not coughing up blood. She looks like she should be dead.
Should be from the fucking start of the film, but you know.
He then tells her to relax as she lies down and sees a broken board and Steven Seagal alive and well. She then stares at the water in the island before she begins to see her mom, and she says, "I'm okay, I'm okay."
Mm-hmm.
We then cut 1 year later to her hometown in Texas, where now
Right.
armed with a gnarly looking scar, she takes her sister out surfing with her dad there watching them, telling her that her mum would be proud of both of them. The pop music then hits as they head into the water.
She's a doctor as well.
Yeah, she's a doctor now. And the pop music's hitting, she heads into the water, and we get a call out credit sequence showing the waves and the islands in a very inventive sequence. It's just better than just like a black screen of just like directed by yada yada. And obviously then the water splits as if Moses is there splitting the tides as the title The Shallows appears to end the movie.
And then the gigantic shark comes and they all die.
No, then the Uber driver returns.
And the Uber driver was the shark the entire time.
Oh my god, he was just trying to take her home and she didn't understand. Anyway, so this is a very easy count for me since only 3 people died, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is the lowest death count we've had in horror movies we've done for the past like how long?
If you count Shining, then no.
Oh, actually, that's a good point.
Because Shining was like 2?
Yeah, but do you count like the ones who are already dead?
I don't count the ones that are already dead. The ones that we see die is the Doctor and obviously Jack.
You are correct then. I forgot about The Shining. I was working at everyone we did. I was like, okay, so Jaws and Rogue both had 4. They were like the lowest ones I could think of, and I was like, I forgot about Shining. So basically, it slots in between Jaws and Jaws, Rogue, and obviously The Shining, which is the lowest. I can't even think of any films that has lower than 2.
No,
because that'd be a really shit. Quite have like 5.
5, yeah.
Yeah, the 3 in the boat, the 2 coppers,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously then if you did include the extended opening, which obviously never made it to the film, and there's technically like how many more, but obviously of the film itself there was 5. But yeah, I forgot about The Shining. Yeah. If you don't count like pre-film deaths, that makes sense. So obviously you actually could count her mom in this, but you won't because she's pre-film death. So yeah, that makes sense. Yep. Thanks for pointing that out.
I'm smart.
And you remembered that we did The Shining, and I forgot completely. Anyway, yeah, I think that covers everything, every base. Time for the overalls.
Yes.
So, overall for me, I think it's a solid shark movie. The pacing is good. From a cinematic point of view, it's got some cool-looking shots. The acting is good, which since the movie was just one character as the full focus, it had to be. And I think Blake Lively did a great job, giving us enough emotion as well as her badass side when it come to it, even though she looked like she should be dead. The story is probably one of the more basic ones we've covered. So the sense of woman goes surfing, attacked by a shark, has to fight to survive on this rock. But I think the basic plot massively works. You don't really need something massive plot-wise. It works. The shark CGI looked good, even if we didn't get to see much of it. But just like Jaws, the lack of shark is what adds the tense of the nature of this movie. Plus, it showed the movie wanting to more focus on her trying to survive rather than what she was trying to survive against, which worked. It shows the full focus, which is literally her. The shark is just there to make her stuck. Damn, step shark, I'm stuck. But yeah, the shark's death, as you said, was inventive and cool looking. Obviously, when it played straight into the spikes, looked really nice, which looked cool. What else we got? The score's good, which it usually is for cinema. Obviously, the cinema shark movies. It's got a decent sort of beat to it. And just like the Meg last week, I find it's cool that most of this movie was shot in like just a big tank they filled up. I'm assuming the exceptions being the beach shots. I'm assuming they were actually shot on location.
Obviously.
But everything on the rock and the water was from a massive tank that is built. Which is what the Meg did as well. They built a whole tank so they could do underwater shots, because shooting the underwater shots in normal oceans is shit. You have a lot of lighting and it's shit lighting and whatnot.
Also, it also could be kind of dangerous.
I think the main focus.
Do we know?
It's pretty is dangerous, but the fact that most of the points is to the fact that the lighting's bad underwater. Whereas if they build like
Yeah,
their own sort of tank, they can create their own lighting source and make it look fine, and they can be there for ages without having to worry about anything.
yeah,
So it's a mixture of multiple things. Um, obviously I like the fact that they did make it look like she was actually stranded on this rock in the middle of the water. It literally looked like she was, which if it didn't, then it would be a bad movie
hmm
because you're like, okay, I can clearly see that's a big green screen over there. It's like the Jaws Revenge when you can see the water hitting the sides. You can clearly
mm,
see it, but at least you can't. So good for them. Um, the deaths aren't obviously a massive number in this movie, but
yeah,
I still think it works. The low amount, it just needed to be there just to remind you that the shark's still there, and
mm,
just so people aren't going to be bored of, oh, it's a shark film, but no one's died. Because people literally probably sit there and go, okay, shark film, it's going to be deaths. And no one died except the shark. That's a weird movie.
I prefer that, to be honest.
It wouldn't have done any good at all.
Um,
I think it would have probably got a lesser response from people. It got a less response in general, but I think it would have got a lesser response. Because you can't have a killer animal movie without a killer animal killing someone. You have to
hence
have at
why,
least one.
hence why I would have liked it. Could be like extremely different. I mean,
Hmm.
like, I think how unique that would be as a
It
film.
would be.
But you don't have to rely on the actual death.
To be fair,
You
they
know,
didn't rely on them though, because you didn't see any of them really. The only thing you saw was the aftermath of the guy dragging himself to the beach and the body of the one guy on the beach. That was it. You didn't really see
yeah,
anything else. So
mm,
it was pretty much like it wasn't there. It was just there to scare. I think it's fair. They were just in this movie to scare her into wanting to push to survive.
yeah. It's more
That
like tension, really.
yeah, that's my opinion of how it
Mm,
is, which works for me.
yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I think that covers up my points. So sum it up, great movie, great looking shots, great lead actress, and an interesting premise. So
mm,
with that, I'll give The Shallows a solid 8 out of 10. There's just a few things
okay.
missing, which is what would give it the extra point, but I can't quite put my fin on it.
Mm, yeah. My overall, I have to agree. Like, there's a lot to it that was kind of good. I like how they didn't use the shark that much. Like I said, it was more of like the tension, and as I said, it's more about her pushing to survive. And I like that because obviously the whole connection between her mum being a survivor and pushing against the cancer and stuff. So it's like a little correlation between her, all about like poetry and stuff. And I like that. No, I like it. It didn't. I didn't like how it didn't feel like a shark film. As I keep saying, these monster films get a bit boring after a while. And that's why I would love the idea of a shark film where you don't actually have any deaths. I would like to film that at some point. But this was close enough. And it's got the same kind of feel as Crawl did, where it was focusing more on the character, or and Crawl with the characters, but in this one it's focusing more on just her. And that works a bit better than, oh, big action shark film, pew pew, killy killy, because that gets a bit boring, a bit repetitive. There's at least these unique films that stand out a bit. I prefer. So yeah, I'd say it's missing a few bits, like I said, and there are some inconsistencies, but if you glance over those, it's a watchable film. More watchable than most of the shark films you've maybe watched. Just saying. So I'd give it. I'm gonna agree. I'd give it 8 out of 10.
Okay, it makes my job easier. So that gives The Shallows a Cheddar Cave overall rating of 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So my question of the day is: would you like to see more movies like this, where someone is obviously trapped between a killer animal and safety, similar to say to Crawl?
hmm
And I think there's another film. It was called Burning Bright or Burning Night, something like that.
Yeah.
It's basically the same situation, but a house and a tiger. So would you like to
Yeah.
see more movies like that sort of like plot sense? And if so, what animal would you choose?
Yes, because as I keep saying, the most of the monster films that you showed me are all the same kind of film rehashed. But I would like to see some slightly different films, but not too much, because if you keep doing this same kind of premise, then this will become the rehashed version. You know what I mean? And what animal would it be? Something more unique that's not been done before would be interesting. I can't think of what animal, but the ones that you don't realise could be dangerous might be good. Something like some kind of monster move that hasn't been done would be nice.
So I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm really struggling to think of one.
Mm,
There's a lot of like I would say wolf, but there's a lot to do with like canines in a similar sense
yeah.
I can think of. So that's been
Yeah.
done.
No, I was thinking Bear, but that's already been done as well. Because the whole that one film that finally got Leonardo his award
Oh, Revenant.
at the fucking time. Yeah, but something a big animal killer movie that hasn't been with an animal that hasn't been
Hasn't
done
been done.
before
Yeah.
would be good.
Yeah. Is this one we're stumped to try and think of one that hasn't been done? If anyone can think of one, put it in the
Yeah,
comments below. If you made it this far.
not you, Craig.
Yeah, we're kind of stumped on that one, so we're just gonna leave it at
Mm.
that. So that's it for the Chat OK podcast this week. Join us next week as we kick off a month of X-Men movies as we discuss X-Men Origins Wolverine. God help us all. But until then, I've been your host, Dranking Thomas Hughes.
Oh my god! I just realised we're doing a Deadpool joke in the next week. Oh god, it's a bad one.
I've worn my shirt too early, haven't I?
Yeah, you did.
I've got an oversized X-Men Origins Wolverine t-shirt. I could wear that.
You just come on topless like he did at the end.
No, I literally have like an X-Men t-shirt from a book. I think it's like one of those sort of like, I think it's like Empire magazine or something like the ones with the film magazines. It was like one of them, but the size you got to give them was like XL or something like that. So I got this massive sort of t-shirt. It says obviously got the X-Men, the logo for the movie on it, but it's like twice the size. I'm actually just come on wearing that. Just
Because
put some pillows under it.
I think the only people that would be like watching that film would be some fat nerds.
And you can say something and I can go, you just call me Blob.
Yeah, I did.
Fair enough. And this has been Chat OK podcast. And, always abide by the surfer code. It's definitely something that's mine and no one else's. If someone steals it, well, good on you.
Half a copyright.
Good on you.
Wait, I thought stealing was against the code.
That's a good point. You broke the surface code, you twats!